And John, would you like to do the welcome?
Yes. Do I need to unmute? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. Well, bienvenidos, bienvenue, welcome to Not Church. It is a safe community centered in beautiful Baja California. It's non-denominational, non-sectarian, virtual, sometimes in person, I should add, safe space that explores ideas, practices, tools, and other things that nurture our intellectual, spiritual, psychological well-being and development. We hope you will be challenged to think, to reflect, and find inspiration, and participate with us in a way that respects the worth and dignity of the human family in all of its fantastic diversity. Welcome to Non-Church.
Great job, John. Welcome, welcome, everyone. With that, I'd like to introduce Cynthia Lauray, who will be doing a meditation for us. And she's also a wonderful member of our community. So we're very lucky to have her.
Thank you.
Cynthia, can you unmute?
Got it. How's that? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect. So thank you for the opportunity to lead the meditation this morning. So I'm going to invite everyone, if it's safe for you to do so, to close your eyes and simply presence yourself in your seat. Arthur's on the beach, so we're going to utilize the energy that he is generating while he's out for his walk. But closing the eyes and dropping into presence in the body. And I want you to imagine or visualize when you see a Tai Chi or Qigong master outside barefoot, gathering Qi, gathering energy. Perhaps you do this practice, or you've seen it on a video, or you've experienced it for yourself. But we're just grass outside surrounded by trees. And that you can either do this with your hands actually in real time, or imagine that you're gathering Qi and bringing it into your heart, bringing it into your core for the women, the womb area. Really just gathering and filling our chakra system, bringing it to the third eye, to the throat. We're gathering energy at this time. And as we've set this motion up to bring energy in and allow it to spill into us like a waterfall of energy, imagine that you're also gathering this energy from any of the senses of your life that have been extra challenging, where you energy from different scenarios, positive or negative scenarios. Bring your energy home, back into your being, like you're moving, like you're in the flow of Tai Chi or a Qigong practice, feeling the energy moving up through your feet, up through your legs, into your body, into your holy vessel of a temple, your body. And imagine that as you're gathering this Qi, that all the cells in your body are waking up and recognizing that more energy is being gathered and received and integrated into your body. Now, I want you to imagine also that you're gathering Qi from the ancestors, those who are watching you, those who are in support of your life, those of us who have maybe been the one in our family that walk a different path, the ancestors supporting us energetically with their love, gathering that love and bringing that into our chakras, bringing that into our core, into our heart, into our solar plexus, the solar plexus that is radiant like the sun, really filling ourselves up and bringing energy from our historic timeline in this life without having to think of any particular circumstances. Just gather up the energy from our childhood, from our young adult years, where we've dissipated our energy out. Just along that timeline, just gather, 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 bring home your energy. And as you continue to gather from the sun, from the earth, from the oxygen, from the water, from the clean, beautiful living foods that we eat, and imagine that you're just gathering, gathering, gathering. We want to presence that this energy is our sovereign current, that we reclaim this energy for ourselves as our vital force, our life force, and that we know that some people have more of a vital life force energy moving through them than others. We've witnessed it, but we want to make ours very strong, very vibrant, very sustainable, imagining a column of light that connects you to the earth and to the heavens along the central channel, and a beautiful horizontal plane of light that moves out from us, out from our body, but it's still within our vicinity. It creates our container. We're holding it close and we're filling ourselves vertically and horizontally from within, continuing to claim our energy from circumstances, experiences, positive or negative, and reclaiming our current of energy. And it is known that people who live through sun gazing and spend a lot of time bringing energy through their eyelids, or those who are breatharians or live just on water and air, and there are those people, that they're living off prana. They're living off the life force energy that they cultivate. And that we all have a certain amount of prana accessible within us, and that we can increase that prana at any moment, at any time, knowing that in this now moment, the past and the present exist simultaneously. So gathering prana, gathering our energy from the past, from the present, to ground here now as a current, and allowing that current to inform all the cells of your body. And knowing that with the powerful tool of our mind and with the incredible compassion of our hearts, we can guide that prana anywhere in our physical bodies where healing is needed. From the tips of our fingers to internal organs and intestines, to improve digestion, to improve clear thinking of the spine, and to know that as we increase our prana, that our outward grasping becomes less. We actually become more sustainable as we fill. We can guide and direct that prana, and we can invite prana in from Ascended Master Yeshua, or any of the Ascended Masters that really nourish and feel soul resonant with you. Calling in their energy too. They're here to sustain us at this time. We are moving through some very interesting, rapidly changing times, and to claim our prana is one of the greatest gifts. It is our currency. It is the current. It is the sovereign, energetic, that as we sustain and fill and continue to grow, enhance our personal prana, and we have more that we can give. We need less and we can give more. We become the currency. We don't have to chase things. We attract things. We attract things that are attracted to that beautiful frequency. That prana contains a love that is so beyond condition. It is the love of a unified field, of a Christed consciousness. And just imagine how, and feel how delicious that is in your body. Feel how all your cells light up when you manifest, generate, intend, amplify the prana within. And there are breatharians that will do a kinesiology test to determine like how much prana that already sustains your life. So if you're living and discover that you're sustained 50% of the time by the prana that you're holding already, imagine how it is if you amplify the prana that you already have, to keep amplifying it. And that if you live, and 50% is just a number that I'm using right now, but if you are in the frequency of understanding how much prana that's already sustaining your life, then you can cut back on eating by 50% and still be sustained if that is your truth. Or you can reduce the amount of outward looking to try to fill a void that might be an old habit, and know that you are already sustained, that everything you have is right within you right now, calling from the ancestors who support your expression in the world at this time, calling upon those ascended masters who have us held right now as we anchor light during really challenging, rapidly changing times, and that we can focalize with the mind, directing this prana into organs and systems within our holy body temple to activate healing from within, to know that we have everything within us that we need and that we know how to cultivate it. So take a nice long deep cleansing breath and guide the prana that you've been generating into a part of your body that really could use a little extra support right now, whatever that is. And imagine that you're filling your body with prana in such a way that it is spilling out through your pores, through the bottoms of your feet, coming up through your central channel through the earth, spilling out like a torus field of energy surrounding you, protecting you simultaneously, amplifying your field, amplifying your expression in this world, amplifying this present moment, amplifying our experience here in this Tranquilo Baja experience. Feel the cohesion that we have created. Feel the energy within your body. I'm slowly going to invite you to presence now. Your surface that's supporting you, the chair you're sitting on, the floor beneath your feet, or the earth if you're standing. And just slowly bringing your awareness back into our Zoom call, our Zoom meeting, and each individual human that is filled with prana. And gently and slowly take another nice deep cleansing breath together. And when it feels comfortable, to open your eyes and be here now, filled with a beautiful light. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. You're such an amazing, amazing teacher.
Aw,
It's always so powerful coming from you. I just love it. Thank you.
thank you so much, Beatrice.
Wow, what a beautiful lead in to our theme on wellness. And Cynthia, thank you. And John, for our beautiful welcome, and welcome you and Mary Beth back. We haven't been here for a while. So it was wonderful to have you welcome everyone else as well. And it's my pleasure to introduce Winifred. in the theme of wellness, some of you may or may not know that in my 40s, I had a severe bout of rheumatoid arthritis, and I was told I'd probably spend the rest of my life in a wheelchair. And all the doctors could do was continue to medicate, medicate, medicate. Well, that was before I knew about meditation, but they were just talking about medication. And I was to the point where I was literally loopy. I couldn't drive a car. I couldn't read a newspaper because I couldn't, my hands were so swollen, I couldn't turn a page. And all they wanted to do was give me more and more medication. And I was just to the point where I thought, I can't do any more medication. And the doctor looked at me and he said, then I guess you don't need me. And I kind of looked back at him and I thought, I guess I don't. And that was the quest for my wellness. Is before the internet, I had the driver, I had a driver because I couldn't drive, had him take me to the library. And I just checked out every book I could find on rheumatoid arthritis. And I was about to set my journey on self-healing. And of course, the rest is history. Didn't happen instantly, but it is possible. And I'm in my 80s now and teaching yoga and not in a wheelchair. So it's just exciting to know that our mind, body, and spirit working together have great power over us. And I do believe Winifred is probably the best person that can tell us about that. And I first saw Winifred when she was doing a poetry reading, and I thought she was the most ethereal being I had ever seen. And I just really wanted to know her. Found out that I got to know her a little bit more in that church. And now in my Zoom yoga classes, she lights up the class with her energy and her vitality and her excitement for life. She wears so many hats. She's a poet, writer, motivational nutritionalist, feng shui consultant, spokesperson, actress, image and color consultant, and certified hypnotherapist. She comes from New Zealand. She arrived in the United States in 1972. And since then, she has done television cooking shows. She has done speaking throughout the country for the New Zealand Kiwi Authority. She's also done cooking shows and written multiple cooking books. And honestly, when she told me that for 16 years she had worked with Richard Simmons, developing his Deal a Meal program and writing scripts for his day-to-day video series and more cookbooks, and she did 17 cruises with Richard Simmons, I was just blown away. I had no idea that this was the same Winifred that I thought was just a poet. So she is an enthusiastic person. She is highly motivated to help people feel good about themselves. And she's done multiple seminars and motivational programs. She's spoken not only in the United States and New Zealand, but she's been featured on TV shows and magazines. And there's so much more. But her bio is posted on the Tranquilo website. So you can go ahead and read more about her. And it gives me joy and great pleasure to introduce Winifred. So I like to say that she's a dear friend and an inspiration to me as well. So Winifred.
Thank you so much, Rose. It is such a joy to be here with all of you. I've been so looking forward to this. It's been quite a while since I've actually given a talk, so I've been a little nutty running around. Every time I've thought of something, I've been writing things on little scraps of paper all over the house, like a deranged shopping list, thinking, oh, I should tell them this, I should tell them that. Then last night, a party across the street, well, it ended at about 7 o'clock this morning. And that reminded me to remind you about moderation in all things. It's just amazing how when your sleep is disrupted, even though I love the way Mexican people party and enjoy themselves, but all night long. Wow, now that's a song. Anyway, sleep affects everything for us. So if we wake up after having had a bad night, we're usually more hungry, tired, grouchy, and getting really sound sleep is an essential part of good health. So my suggestion is to always have your last meal or last connection with food before you go to bed about 3 hours before you go to bed. No late night snacking, because you have to give your body a break. It can't be digesting all the time. And when you get into bed, it doesn't want to be messing around with what you just ate 5 minutes ago. It wants to be able to focus on washing your brain, so you'll be alert and energized for the next day. Because truly, we really are a mass of pulsating energy and vibrating cells, and all our cells are communicating with each other. And what they are saying to each other depends on what we are saying to them. So if you get up in the morning and get a look at yourself in the mirror and say, oh, not you again, imagine what your cells are going to feel. They're going to feel droopy as well. But if you greet yourself and say, wow, look at you, we're going to have a fabulous day together, and I get to spend my time with my favorite person, woohoo! And then all your cells start dancing and feeling great again. So it's up to us to feel fully alive while we are alive. And a lot of this depends on what we put into our bodies as nourishment. And so I want to start with your mouth, which can be a problem because it can swallow things that you had no intention of even putting in your mouth. But if you are aware and you become a bodyguard or a lifeguard for your whole system by what goes into your mouth, that makes an enormous difference. Now, this is something you mightn't have really realized, but your digestion starts in your mouth. Your saliva is one of your digestive juices. So it is absolutely vital that you chew your food to a pulp before you swallow it. Now, we feed babies pureed food because they don't have any teeth. But once you have your own teeth, you're supposed to do your own pureeing. It's very important. And well, maybe this will help you remember how important it is. I think that chewing is to digestion what foreplay is to intercourse, because they both stimulate the necessary juices for the main event. So there you have it. So you must chew, chew, chew. And that is very, very important. Now, when you, let's see, when you have chewed your food, it's a good idea to slow everything down. And it actually takes your brain about, it takes, yes, for the stomach and the brain to connect, takes about 20 minutes. I remember a dear old lady in my mother's gardening club years ago telling me just before her 100th birthday that she owed her longevity to a talk I had given many years before, reminding people to chew and slow down and take 20 minutes to really enjoy your food. And she said that because of that, she had lived to almost 100, and she did live to 100. So that was really a sweet thing for her to tell me. Now, while I'm talking about chewing, I want to remind you that it's really an abusive thing to chew gum, because what are you doing? You're stimulating all those digestive juices with no reward. Your stomach's thinking, hey, what's going on? All this anticipation with nothing. So chewing really just makes you more hungry and gets your digestive juices going for no reason. So it's not a great idea. Now, if you're trying to improve your whole food pattern or what you're doing in your life with your food, and you're having difficulty because there are some things you know you should include, or maybe you should reduce the amount of sugar you're eating, but it just tastes so much better the way it is, I want to remind you that you get brand new taste buds every 10 days or so. So I say, hey, if your old taste buds aren't liking things this way, or you want your new taste buds to like something a different way, just wait for 10 days. I have done this with children in a hypnosis situation where the kid might say, oh, well, I just hate broccoli. I'm not going to eat broccoli. And we say, well, let's just mark it on the calendar. 10 days from now, you'll have brand new taste buds, and maybe your new taste buds will like broccoli. Well, half of the hypnotic suggestion is in the child marking off the calendar every day with so much anticipation that, of course, they say, my new taste buds love broccoli. So it's really true, though, that if you diminish, say, extra sugar, little by little by little, after a while, what you were having before is just entirely too sweet. It's a process. I say we need to lean in the right direction. That's all we can do. Every moment we have an interaction with food, all we can really do is the best we know how. Like if you're in a restaurant and you're looking at a menu, I've trained myself not to go to the parts of the menu that aren't health supportive, but to find something. I look for what I can have, and I don't focus on any of the things that I shouldn't be eating. So it's a matter of changing your perspective and knowing that the universe is abundant and there are so many health supportive foods that you can have. I actually have a restaurant down here in Ensenada that I've trained now to, I say, I would like the salad the way I like it. And the waiter knows just what to leave out and what to put in. And a lot of my friends now go in and say, I want the salad the way Winifred likes it, because they like it too. So we can ask for what we want and get it the way we want it. So after we've chewed and altered our taste buds, I have some earth-shattering news for you. Guess what? The human body was never, ever meant to eat 3 meals a day. That was all marketing. And breakfast can still be breakfast because it means break fast. And so it's whenever you break your fast after you've slept. It could be at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It doesn't matter. But the idea of eating fewer meals sounds, it sounds un-American to begin with. Breakfast is supposedly so important. But if you just practice little by little, shortening your eating window, kind of setting your time a little bit later every day, you will actually find you have way more energy and aliveness if you're not focusing on dealing with food all the time. So it does make a big difference if you just shorten that eating window. And if I wake up and I'm really hungry, I think, oh, well, I just can't do that today. I'm just going to eat something, which is fine. You can. It's all up to you. But I have taught myself to embrace my hunger. So I say, oh, well, I'm just embracing my hunger. And after a little while, I don't even remember that I was so hungry. And so I have now shortened my eating window to about 6 hours. And you don't have to, so I'll probably eat something at noon and then complete my eating at 6 o'clock. And it's not hard and fast. When I talk about leaning in the right direction, we're at a time in our lives where we have to enjoy every day. We have to have variety. We have to have fun. We have to enjoy everything. So there are no real rules. It's just doing the best you possibly can. And that's what I think is really important to focus on. But I do think that eating less often really does improve your longevity, your energy, and just the state of health of your body, because it can function on all the other things that it has to do. Now, we do have to talk about what goes in must come out. And so we cannot ignore our intestinal transit time. And feces need to be shaped up and shipped out, kind of like, think Amazon Prime. If there's a delayed delivery, well, you get kind of disgruntled and frazzled and just not happy about it. So how can you possibly know what your intestinal transit time is? I have just a little test you can do, and that is to take a spoonful of corn, and this time don't chew it, and just swallow it and check the time, and then keep checking until you see the corn, and then you'll know your intestinal transit time. And if it's a little bit longer than it should be, I mean, the Western diet, let's face it, sometimes it's about 48 to 72 hours, and it should not be anywhere near as long as that. But it just really shows why pharmaceutical companies are doing so well with products to cure irregularity. So we can cure it ourselves by eating more vegetables, eating food that is as close to nature as possible. I used to say, try not to eat anything that has a barcode on it, but now they stick barcodes on apples and all sorts of things. So that idea has gone out of the window. But you just have to be aware of what you're actually putting in your mouth, because everything you eat should be something that your body can deal with and you'll find nourishing. Something else I'd like to mention is, where are you eating? I was really upset when cars came out with places for cup holders. I said, who on earth is going to be drinking stuff in their car? Well, little did I know, people are eating, drinking, and whatever in their cars. So I just feel we have to be more aware of food time as being sacred, so that you actually sit down and relax. There's no point in eating if you're in a mad dash to get somewhere, because you're not relaxed. If you're stressed, worried, or racing around the place, just wait and eat when you can really tune in to the taste of the food and the flavors that you're enjoying. Have you noticed a lot of times people will be fascinated with food until they're actually eating it, and then they don't really notice what's in their mouth because they're anticipating the next mouthful on their plate. So that's what I mean about slowing down and really appreciating what you're eating. So let's see, how much are you eating? Well, in case you didn't know, your stomach is about the size of your cupped hands. Can you see my cupped hands? Look at your own cupped hands. So then look at all the food on your plate. Do they equate? If not, maybe you need to lower your portions a little bit. Also, when you're eating more slowly and you take 20 minutes to eat, you will find you're satisfied with less food, because if you eat the same amount of food really quickly, you'll be looking for more. But stretching out the time of eating, relaxing, and in making it more of a social interaction is always really helpful. So do not eat your food as if it's the Last Supper. In other words, just slow down and relax. Something that if you're looking to really, I don't know if anybody here is looking to lose any weight. I call it releasing weight, because I don't really think losing weight is helpful, because when we lose our keys, we want them back. We want to find them. But if we release something, we let it go and it's done. But if you want to release weight, something you can do is use a smaller plate, or an experiment you can do is actually make something that's easy to eat and blindfold yourself and eat the meal blindfolded in a relaxed state, and just enjoy the food. When you feel as if you've had enough, take off the blindfold and see how much is left. Because so often we do eat with our eyes, but the Clean Plate Club has been disbanded, for all of you who didn't know that. So another little helpful thing to know is that, and this is funny, but if you eat off a blue plate, you actually will eat a little bit less, because blue is not associated with food. I know we have blueberries, but mostly our food is not blue. So eating off a blue plate, and I think Woolworths streamed this up years ago with their blue plate special, all you can eat, $3.99 on a blue plate. And they could easily do that because nobody could eat very much off a blue plate. So that's just a little something else to, one of these crazy notes I wrote down somewhere in the house, just, oh yes, the blue plate special. And while I'm thinking of my crazy notes, I don't want to forget, this is just something I learned the other day. If you're taking any kind of supplement or any medication that's in a capsule form, I feel so crazy that I didn't know this before, but I've always, put my head back to drink water with if I had to take a pill, but capsules float. Who knew? So you can just put them in the front of your mouth and actually lean forward and just drink water without even thinking about a pill being in your mouth. And it just goes down without any effort at all. And I just think that is a cool trick that everybody should know. And maybe you all knew it and I'm the last to know it, but there you go. So now we have to get to, why are you eating? Why are you eating? Are you eating because you're really, really hungry? Sometimes when we eat when we're stressed or tired, it doesn't sit well with us. So we're better off not eating. And sometimes we eat when we're really thirsty. So are you drinking enough water? Are you drinking, getting enough fluids in your body? Now, I just want to share a little device that many of you will know about this. This is a pendulum, and Cynthia spoke about kinesiology earlier, and that is really the same principle. But I've used this for about 45 years to determine whether something is health supportive for me or not. I take it with me whenever I go to a restaurant and check things out. So you can just get anything that's weighted, although crystals work very, very well. So I'm not sure how much of, let me see, I'm going to see what I look like as the speaker view. How do I can't see how much of myself, how much you can see. Is this good? Because if I hold it at normally I hold my pendulum at my solar plexus level, and I determine if something is good or not. I was at the dermatologist the other day, and the doctor was shocked that I didn't use sunscreen. And I said, well, I'm afraid of putting all those poisons into my body, and anything we put on our skin goes into our body. So just be aware of that. And he said, oh, well, I've got some sunscreen here that's all natural, completely natural, won't hurt you. So I checked it with my pendulum, and I don't know if you can see this, but it immediately goes to the left, which is my way of knowing that it's not health supportive for me. So to show you, here's some face cream that I do use, and we'll see if it goes the other way. Yes, just goes to the right. And then I just thought I'd show you something fun with a couple of eggs. I've got 2 eggs here, 2 brown eggs. Here's one, and we'll see if it's good for me. Let's see. Whoops, not good for me, because this chicken no doubt got GMO food and lots of things that are not good for my system. So whatever the chicken ate, when you eat the egg, then you're eating what that chicken ate, or what is in the egg. So let's look at this other egg. Let's see if it's better. See? It's going to the right. This is a pastured organic egg. So it doesn't have any GMO products in it, and is probably made with superior food of some kind. Anyway, it's better for me. So that's just my way of knowing what is helpful in my body. And it's worked for me for years and years. So I really would love for you to, I'll give you I should really tell you how it works. I mean, I just I make sure my feet are not crossed, my legs aren't crossed, my feet are on the floor. And I'll say, my name is Winifred. This is true. I make a statement, an absolute statement. My name is Winifred. This is true. Okay, now my name is Mary Lou. This is true. It turned the opposite way. Can you see? Turned the opposite way. So this is because we are electrical beings. We're a massive pulsating, vibrating energy, and we have positive and negative in us. We're totally electrical. So this just works so honestly. It knows the truth of everything about you. So I'd much rather depend on this than to have a doctor give me a prescription and say, well, try this and come back in a week and see how it's working. Oh no, I will try this and see if it's going to work now or not. So that is just another little idea. I'm wondering what else one thing that is really important, if you're changing any of your food habits, please don't rely on willpower. Willpower is so unreliable. It will trick you every time. What you need to do is make a decision and then just do the very best you can. But don't rely on willpower. I mean, if you're going somewhere and you know that there's going to be food that you really don't want to eat, don't go hungry. Eat something before you go. And then, one thing, even at a dinner party, other people do not know what or notice what you are eating. They're only concerned about what they are eating. So don't worry that you might offend somebody by leaving something on your plate. They don't notice. It's true. So the other thing is to please say nice things to yourself, and don't ever use the word cheat in terms of eating something that you shouldn't have eaten. When you swallow something, it's gone, it's history, it's done. And you just keep moving forward and just be grateful that you have another opportunity. And speaking of other opportunities, I would like to close by just, if you wouldn't mind, just closing your eyes if you feel comfortable, just getting cozy in your chair, relaxing, and just place your hands loosely on your lap. Take a deep breath in through your nose and let it out easily through your mouth. Feel the chair supporting you as you continue to breathe with ease. Relax. Release any and all tension and be right here, right now. Listen to the trusted beating of your life-providing heart. Feel your lungs expanding with each breath, and as you inhale, send a flood of gratitude to every single cell, from your toes to the top of your head. Accept with relief your unbroken connection to this wonderful, powerful, strong vehicle that is so anxious to please you every ticking second. Recognize how totally your body depends on you for its proper care and feeding. And if you like, allow these following words to be your message. Dear body, thank you for always looking out for me, no matter what. I am sorry for any negative words and thoughts that have impeded our connection. I am endlessly grateful for the countless opportunities to start over. Please know, going forward, I have new awareness and am committed to being your fully functioning lifeguard. I will do my best to listen to the cues you give me and respond in the moment. I know our health comes above all else, and that you depend on my vigilant and mindful decisions. Thank you for loving me through all our ups and downs. Everything you do to lift my vibrational energy each day overwhelms me with joy and gratitude. I dedicate myself to our ongoing exuberance, well-being, and togetherness as this earth journey progresses. I treasure you and thank you for being my soul's vehicle in this miracle of life. Much love, your one and only dedicated lifeguard. Now take a deep breath into every cell and stretch and wiggle your toes and fingers. And then when you're ready, open your eyes and give your wonderful body a big hug. And thank you, everybody. I've loved being with you this morning. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Winifred. Oh my gosh, I thought you were amazing, and you are even more amazing than I thought you were. There's so much depth to you. Thank you. Those are some really good tools that you've given us. And just so everyone knows, these sessions are recorded, so you can go back to that beautiful meditation and do that for your body every day. And so yes, thank you, thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Well, Winifred, that was wonderful. And it so reminded me of mindfulness retreats where the eating was done in silence for 20 minutes and you were to chew each bite 30 to 50 times. The reason it was done in silence was because you couldn't possibly be talking and chewing at the same time, but it was mindful eating and it was part of a meditation. And it really was interesting to hear you say the same thing and how important that length of time and the actual chewing is. So, and I think Winifred said she'd be happy to answer any questions. If anyone has questions, go ahead, either raise your little hand or unmute yourself, and you're welcome to ask a question or two.
Mary Beth, are you trying to unmute? Can we unmute her?
I can't. She has to unmute herself. She just did.
Oh, she just did. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Winifred, I loved it. Thank you very much. I wonder if you go to a restaurant with your crystal, how many times do you say, what percentage of time do you say this is not for me? Because the crystal says it's not good for your body.
Well, it won't be that bad for the whole. I try to select food that I think is going to work. For example, if I were to check and find that the fish I had ordered was farmed fish and not wild fish, I wouldn't eat it. My pendulum would say, no, no, no. But I usually ask before I order. But sometimes when I hold the pendulum over a whole plate of food, it just shudders because it's like, whoa, there's too much here for me to make a distinction. Right. So you have to do it individually. But down here in Baja, a lot of the food is very fresh and very real, and I don't have to worry too much, but I take it with me.
Nevertheless.
I'd like to add one thing. If you're in a supermarket and you're wanting to buy something and you don't have your pendulum with you, something you can do is hold whatever it is, a banana or maybe some supplements, or you're trying to decide between something, hold it in your solar plexus, stand with your eyes closed and see which way you're pulled. If you start to be sort of topple forward, that's your body's way of saying, I like this. But if you get knocked backwards, that's your body's way of saying, whoa, not for you. You can test that with a bottle of Coca-Cola if you like, which, by the way, I have never, ever tasted because my father brought it home when I was 15, left it on the kitchen counter and said, after dinner, we're going to take the rust off your bicycle. Well, we did, but we used the Coca-Cola. So I've always thought of it as a rust remover, and I've just never, ever thought of that as a beverage, but I'm sure you could.
And cleaning toilets, they say.
Right.
Car batteries and plumbing.
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No, anyway, thank you for your question. I hope I sort of answered it.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Winifred, I'm going to ask a question. The thing that you read at the end, can we actually have a copy of that to post on the Tranquilo website?
Absolutely. Yes,
Okay.
of course. I'd be happy to. Yes,
And
no
I
problem.
think you also mentioned something about a checklist.
Yes, I have a checklist that I'm going to make sure we have on the website. It's just a reminder of that having fun every day. You must laugh every day. That's even more important than food, I think. You have to find humor in life. Anyway, it's a checklist. You can read it on the website. And if you do even half of those things every day, you'll be pulsating at a very high vibrational rate.
Thank you again, Winifred. You were just absolutely wonderful. And Beatrice, I don't know if you've got some announcements to make about.
Yes, a
next
couple of
month.
announcements.
Great.
And I also just want to mention a quick thing that how important it is to read every single label because things are so misleading. They'll say organic, all natural, no preservatives. And when you read it, no, that's not true. So don't go by what you read on the front of almond milk or whatever. It was all natural in the last 6 months.
Right.
But thank you for all those wonderful tips. Really, really helpful. So yes, some announcements. Let's see, I mentioned we have recordings. Save the date, October 8th. Winifred and Doug will be doing a play about love letters. They're called Love Letters, the play. Can't wait for that. And there'll be more information that we'll post around that. And then we also have Arthur's movie this Wednesday. What did I?
6 o'clock.
Wednesday at 6 o'clock. And you can go to theworldismycountry.com to get more information. And I think those are the announcements I have, unless anyone has any other announcements.
You want to mention the speaker for next month?
Oh, yes. Next month. Gosh, I'm sorry. I was so organized and now I do not feel organized. We have a speaker next month that will be talking about journaling and memoirs. So it'll be really nice for us to learn to do that and to think about what legacy do we want to leave? And that's it.
And that's it. And thank you all so much for coming. It's been a joy to spend the last hour with you. And please check the Tranquilo Baja website for updates and see you next month.
Thank you everyone for coming. Great to see you all.
Thank you.
Wonderful Sunday.
So much. It was wonderful. Thank you.
Really was.